Welcome to December 25th's prompt for December. It is a double tag and mechanical garden. So I decided to use watercolor paper for this double tag. I haven't used it in a long time, and I kind of wanted to play around with it with some distress oxide inks, and also I found a couple watercolor crayons in my drawer, so I thought, oh, I can play around with those too. So here I'm just forming the shape of my tag, or I should say tags, since it is a double tag. So I just get the tag shape cut out, and then I go from there. I hope you've had a chance to play along for December. We're almost to the end, but you can continue to play along. Here I decided to have a little treat in honor of Louisa and Barbara, my Lindor chocolate. And here I have watered down my watercolor paper, and then I have sprayed on some of the Distress Oxide spray. So this is going to be I'm trying to make like a garden looking tag using these sprays. So I started with the green on the bottom, and I just play around here with the inks for a little bit and the brush. I do dry in between as well. So here I come in with the, I do believe it is linen, I'm not 100% sure, spray, and I dry that as well. And then I come in with some of the tumbled glass Distress Oxide spray. Now I tried to apply this a little differently, just spraying it on my block and adding some water and then stamping it onto the card. I do like how it turned out, but I do wind up spraying some on as well, just to give it a little more coverage. I wasn't quite happy with the coverage of just stamping the ink on, even though I liked how it looked. And then I'm just creating some water droplets onto the dried parts with the rest of that ink, hoping to create some oxidization. I wanted it to look oxidized since it is a mechanical garden. So in the end, I was happy with my backgrounds. I just added a few more water droplets here for some more oxidization on the background. So I come in with my vintage photo, and I heavily ink up the edges of both my tags here. I kind of wanted it to look like aged and almost like rusted. Now I didn't use Rusty Hinge, but I did come in with my Distress Oxide re-inker, which is quite pigmented, and I did some splatters with the brush, and I also went around the edges a little heavier with some of the ink. So here I bring in my little girl. She's going to be my little fairy, the keeper of the mechanical garden, and I'm just deciding which tag I would like to place her on. Now here I'm playing around with some paper gears and paper die cuts. I really didn't know where I was going with this, and then I remembered I got this stamp set in a thrift haul, so I thought, well, maybe I'll use that. But here I'm still trying to decide if I wanted to use die cuts. But in the end, I did not. It was too colorful. I wanted it to be more dark and metallic looking. So I used this Inkadinkado set that I got. It had never even been used. It was in a bag that I got, I do believe, at the thrift store. So here is where my stamping platform would have come in. I do have one, and I forget to use it. So note to self, if you're going to do multiple stamps, if you have a stamping platform, it makes your life a lot easier, as you will see as this video goes on. So I just stamped these in black Stays-On ink. In hindsight, I wished I would have embossed them, but that's okay. Live and learn. It still turned out good to me. I liked the end result of this prompt, and that's the whole point of December, to play, to do something different. And this definitely was different for me. So I do a practice stamp here just to see how it looks, and then I do go in and stamp on the front of the tag. So here when I'm stamping, I don't know if one spot was still a little damp, but I didn't get a good impression on the big flower and the bottom flower in a couple spots. So I was like, I didn't really like how it looked. So I was trying to see if I could line it up again, and I do think I do line it up pretty good, but that's where my stamping platform would have been really awesome. I don't even know why I didn't think of it, but here I am. Oh, sorry for the noise. My cat's feeders are going off. So here I do line it up and I stamp it again. And in the end, I was quite happy with it. So I decided to pull out some of my metal gears. For me, mechanical was something to do with metal. So I'm just sorting through my gears here, deciding how I want to do it. At first, I thought I would just put the gears on the flowers, but then to me, it still didn't look very mechanical. It looked, they didn't stand out enough. Maybe if I had, there goes the other cat feeder, I'm sorry. Maybe if I had a little more larger gears, it would have looked different. But I pulled out some of my jewelry wire here, and I'm not even going to tell you how long this took me. This prompt took me a very, very long time. So I wound up curling a lot of that wire, and then I bring out my glue gun, and I start placing down my metal elements here. And I did this over all the flowers, creating just some wire petals and centers and curlicue things. And I glue them all down with the glue gun. And that metal butterfly is from Tim Holtz as well. And then I do place a gear on the top of that. And then I just go through and glue them all down. I didn't want to bore you with the process. The making of the metal parts is what took me forever. And there I go and knock them all off my tag. So anyway, I zoomed in a little bit here so you could see a little bit better what I was doing. In the end, I was happy with how it turned out. I don't know if it stands out as much as I would have liked, but it is a mechanical garden to me. And I think this challenge took a while too because there was 2 tags to decorate. So, but I did enjoy it. It definitely took me out of my comfort zone. It's not something I would have done on my own. Now, this element is also very bulky, which is why it's fun for Dec.25. It doesn't matter how bulky my journal gets. I don't really care. But in a regular journal, I would have to maybe consider that for including an element like this. So there we go. I have most of it all glued down. I do have some glue strings and blobs that I have to go in after and kind of get rid of. But I used gold and silver jewelry wire here, and I was quite happy with how it turned out. And then I put my metal butterfly down as well with some hot glue just to make sure it stays. So then I move on to my other tag. And I had traced around the girl with watercolor crayon, the green one there. And I wanted to create like a shadow in behind her. So I thought, well, I'll just play around here. So I'll use a paintbrush and some water just to kind of spread that watercolor crayon around. I do like how this turned out. I left them out on my desk to remember to use them. So I hate having stuff and I don't use it. Like you can tell by that package, I've never used it. So there we go, just creating a little bit of a border around her or a shadow. So here I am gluing on her little dragonfly wings in honor of Barbara. I had some dragonfly clear stickers. I just cut the wings apart and I included them on her. And I'm just going to give her a floral crown there. And I do go in here with the other color of the watercolor crayon, the blue, and I really like how it looked. And I use it again later on after I stamp and emboss her crown. So here I am, I pull out my Versamark. I haven't used it in so long. I think it was a bit on the drier side. So here I had stamped it once and then I dried it because I didn't think I got a good impression. So then I go in and do it again. And on the right hand side, you could see it's a little thicker. So obviously I didn't dry it very well, but I was okay with it. I love how she has this um, wild crown on her head. I think it looks really cool. So then I go in and stamp an adornment on her little dress too. I thought it needed something extra there. And I do emboss that with black ink as well. She's my little fairy, garden fairy of the mechanical garden. She creates and takes care of them. So after I heat emboss that, then I just come in with a couple of embellishments, I believe. And I bring in that watercolor crayon again. And I color in the stamped image to just make it pop a little bit more. And I do like how that turned out. So this challenge was fun for me. Here I'm putting one of her little, a little Tim Holtz adornments, a little heart, and gave her a couple little curly cues on that as well as part of her crown. And that was my tag. So now I needed to back it. I did add a gear, or I do add a gear in the middle there of her dress. Just a little more of a metal element again on my fairy. I think she's so cute. So I have a Kleenex box in the background. You can see I was going to back it with that, but it was a little too thick for me. So I just went in for some craft cardstock and I backed both my tags. So there is journaling space on both of the tags. That was fun to try to get it to stick down. So here I am going to put a gear on the little girl tag at the top, a paper gear. I thought it needed something extra at the top. And then I do go in with a brad and attach my two tags together at the top, just so it can swing and you can see both tags. Now, in the end, I put them back to back in the end instead of on top of each other. And I just put them over a page. So one tag was on each side of the page. So here is the end results. I did add some gold splatters as well. I was quite happy. I added a sentiment, enchanting wildflower. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up, and I hope you get a chance to play along. I was quite pleased with the end result of this prompt. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye now.